The sweet aromas of the apple fritter, cinnamon roll, and blueberry muffin are hard to resist. So making it home without reaching in your McDonald's bag is no easy task. But nothing worth doing is easy. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's.
Christopher Media, the Weedsman Podcast.
Cures rickets, polio, conjunctivitis,
AIDS. Let's just go hog wild.
If you get in a car accident, you just use a little bit, you'll be fine.
Yeah, rub it on your car and yourself. It'll fix your car and your bones.
Try this special trick to get out of traffic tickets with Rick Simpson oil.
Rub it on the cop. He'll just go away.
The Weedsman Podcast. Every Friday on iTunes and ChristopherMedia.net. Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthmacore Studios near Detroit, Michigan, it's Unregimented.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
Hey, it is another episode of Unregimented. I am Chris.
I'm Jay.
I'm Aaron. I was looking at this 4-inch computer that Intel came out with.
Why?
Oh, yeah, the one
Why?
you plug in your TV.
For what?
It's Windows 8.1.
Why not?
Wasn't it called the iPhone 1? 4-inch computer?
Dude, you plug it into your TV, and it turns your TV into a Windows 8.1 machine.
Yeah,
That's
it's got 32 gigs
Couldn't
of
you
storage.
do that with any hard drive?
No,
Just-
you got to get a whole computer. You can
yeah.
hook any computer up to a TV these days, but you got to get a whole computer
But
to do it
that,
in your
you just
laptop.
take it with you.
It's
everywhere you go.
$150.
Yeah, right.
And $89 if you want to run Linux.
Oh, which would be sweet as hell.
Yeah.
Linux.
2 gigs. Sorry.
It's okay.
I don't know that Linux. I know it's an operating system.
Yeah.
It's about it.
Well, your fucking OS is built off the same backbone as Linux.
I don't fucking program it. I just use it.
I know. That's the funny thing. I don't use them. I just program them. You know.
Okay. So it's got 2 gigs of RAM. It's got Wi-Fi. It's got a micro SD slot if you want to expand its 32 gigs of onboard storage.
So you're talking about a hard drive, not a
It's a whole fucking
No, it's
computer.
a fucking
Processor, RAM, little motherboard in there controlling everything. It's the whole
It's
9
a
yards.
microcomputer, like a real microcomputer. Like it had, you know.
shit.
Yeah. Well, they had to do something like that because all like Samsung and LG are developing their own better operating systems for their TVs, which I think they just released at CES just recently. And
Somebody's finally developing good operating systems for entertainment systems.
yeah,
Like,
and it's going to be like one with your phone kind of a thing.
Really?
Like you just walk in the room and you can. There you go.
because all the like cable and satellite and all those providers have failed to do so.
Junk.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting Netflix on Wide Open West now. Ultra TV, Netflix came on it. I'm like, where are the apps? When I got Ultra TV, I'm like, where are the freaking apps at? I'm like, what good is this $130 a month freaking service if I'm watching commercials?
Right.
You know, where are the freaking apps? Like, it's a media gateway. Gateway to what media? You know, like, I can look at pictures from my computer. So fucking what?
Yeah.
You know, why would I want that on my cable? I just have computers hooked up to my TVs already. So
Yeah, DirecTV has the iPad app, which is
Yeah.
only convenient in that you get to, if you want to search for something, you can actually just type it in there rather than like using the little arrows.
Yeah. Wide Open West has that too. I have it on my phone and
but
on
it
my
sucks,
iPad.
dick. I mean, it just gives you access to the same shitty program that's on the DVR. That it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I agree. I don't know, man. The cable is such a ripoff anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, what's the point anymore?
There is no point. Everybody's going to start branching off.
Well,
First
HBO. Yep, HBO.
ESPN. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of companies. I think that's where AMC is going to go.
The way it's going to go is just like that right there, like the Google Chromecast and and the Microsoft new 4-inch computer, and you know. You can name quite a few now that are doing, you know, Hulu, or not Hulu, but Roku's, and, you know, Roku's a pretty sweet little box.
I have one.
All the
CBS
TVs.
is about to do it too.
Yeah, right.
So that puts all of the cable. That puts all of the major networks into a streaming service because Hulu is ABC, CBS, and Fox. We've talked, or ABC, NBC, and Fox.
Yeah.
Right. That's $9 a month, right?
So CBS, that's all of them.
When Netflix started kind of remodeling themselves as a data streaming company rather than rental
DVDs,
service,
yeah.
they were ahead of the game, and they but they did what everybody else kind of didn't get, is like, fuck all this testing that you've been doing with television. That's, you're testing like less than 1% of the population and trying to extrapolate from there, and continually regurgitating these same horrible programs over and over again, and nothing's ever grabbing. You're not even giving the good stuff a chance to get traction. Netflix, absolutely, they can pinpoint it. You said it. They know all of the statistics. So not only like, did you watch it? Did you watch the whole thing? Did you watch 10 minutes of it and stop it?
Right. So they know right there. You don't need to read a review. Where did you
stop it?
You didn't need to read a review.
Oh, that's how Stitcher, that's what they do with our podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
It tells me how many minutes each person listened.
Right.
I have average completion rates.
Right. But that's what, that's why Netflix, they had some great programming. What's the political thriller?
House of Cards.
House of Cards is fucking
Orange
amazing.
Orange is the New Black was a
Orange
decent
is the New
show.
Black. I love that. I'm looking so forward to all the Marvel shit that they got coming.
Yeah.
We're a couple months, 3 months.
They have
3 or 4 months.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are on there. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that's
TV
on ABC
on
too, though.
Right. Yeah, but it's on Netflix.
I love that shit. Yeah.
Well, I can't tell you anything about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I just know Netflix because I'd rather watch Netflix. The problem is I can't find any programming that's like I can watch when my kids are around,
Yeah.
I have a hard time with that because I don't want to.
That's tough.
It's like either PG-13 or G-rated. But the PG-13 I don't let my kids watch because they're not of the age group. So, but all my shit
it depends on what
R-rated.
it is for me. It's mostly so it really depends on how violence is portrayed. That makes my decision on whether the kids watch it or not.
Yeah, if it's guys like 18 blowing up, like flying all over the place, but not actually seeing bullet wounds and shit, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like the Avengers. I'll let them watch the Avengers.
Totally.
Transformers,
my son loves the Transformers
They watched
movies.
it, but I was kind of, Spider-Man. They watched Spider-Man and shit. So
my son, he really dug the Iron Man movies, and he was skeptical about Captain America. But I was like, dude,
dude. Captain America.
Just go with me, and you're gonna fucking love it. And he was so down.
I remember as a kid making a fucking Captain America. Pizza box shield, man, totally. Like out of a Domino's box.
Yeah,
Captain America, and watching it on my parents' TV because it was the only color TV in the house.
And the second movie was phenomenal. It was better than the first one. Did you see the sequel?
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
It was an amazing
the first
movie.
one was like, okay, we got character establishment.
You kind of had to give them you've got to build everything up. Plus, this is kind of the starting point for, even though we've been introduced to all these characters before even recently, that was going to be the new starting point for phase 1 of Marvel. That's going to start tying everything together. This guy is going to pull you through the Avengers, which pulls in Tony Stark and Thor, everybody else.
Well, it is funny because how many times did they have to do the Hulk to find out who the Hulk was going to be for the Avengers movies?
Yeah.
Edward Norton.
I enjoyed Edward Norton's performance. I can understand why he wouldn't go back to it, though. And Mark Ruffalo is fucking awesome.
Yeah. He's
nailed that role.
Yeah, that's David Banner right there.
That's one of the reasons why I'm looking so forward to the second Avengers movie.
Yeah.
I'm expecting it to be a little wacky. I'm not sure. I've got my reservations. But yeah.
I didn't
that's the only way I'm going to see Hulk on film now.
I didn't like the second Thor as much as the first Thor.
Dude, thank you.
Yeah.
That was the only one that I didn't even make it through the whole movie because I just got bored.
Really?
Like, it's just not. And you know what?
The only good scenes when he knocks the rock guy to pieces. That's like the best scene in the movie. And the rest of it's like, okay.
It was
Natalie Portman's hot, but too many clothes on.
Right. And I was watching it because I'm such a fan of it, and I've enjoyed everything else that Marvel has done recently. And I'm watching that going, am I missing something? Am I just in a bad mood? Or is it just like bouncing right off me?
I've watched it twice.
Nothing is connecting at all.
Right. I watched it twice and was bored both times.
Yeah.
And it was like, because the first time I felt kind of the same way you were just describing. Like,
right.
Okay, maybe I wasn't in the right mood for that movie.
It happens.
Yeah. And then, I watched the Avengers, and then I watched it again, and I'm like, yeah, no.
Right.
I saw the Avengers before I saw this. It just doesn't, like, it should be an extension off the Avengers, honestly.
Yeah.
They should just,
Well, last night was the premiere of Agent Carter.
Okay.
Which is the character from the Captain America movies and from the pre-Frozen Cap.
We're boring the shit out of him.
Yeah, I know. I'm almost done. I wasn't going to go off on a Marvel tangent, but then you left the room, so I was like, "Fucking, I'm running with it."
Here we go.
I told you to.
So I watched. It was a 2-hour premiere, which basically they just took the first 2 episodes.
Is that Girl Scout
played them both.
Creamer?
Hell yeah!
Can I have some of that?
Yeah. And it was quite boring, actually.
You sound like a fucking crackhead asking for a hit.
I'm going to need a little bit of that, too, when you're done.
I'll suck your dick.
Easy, no. Chief. It's not that good.
Almost.
No, so watched both episodes. Almost didn't. I almost stopped it after the first one because, I don't know, they were just trying to pack so much into it. And it was like they weren't even letting the jokes land. They were just, next scene. Like, we got to get all this shit out in 42 minutes. Yeah. And you don't even know who the fuck this person is or what the fuck she's doing. But they set up the whole thing based around, like, Howard Stark has got some false accusations of his tech getting out into the black market, and she's been entrusted with the job to track these people down. And
the problem is the pilot show, which is, the first show, is always like that. And it's like, because
so I stuck it
pilot,
in for the second.
You know what I mean?
Stuck it in for the second. The second just was like nothing. I don't know. I don't think I'm going back. It's only 7 episodes, and then they're done anyway. It's not going to be a continuing thing.
I am really pissed off that Walking Dead is going to be so far off. I hate that they do this.
It's not that far off.
Was it like February 23rd? Isn't it?
Okay, a little over a month. It'll be sooner than you it'll go by fast. It'll go by fast. I've heard that there's a lot of crazy shit that's going to come up in this season, and then we got a whole new.
I'm a little irritated they killed out. Did you see it all the way? You've seen the last episode.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Beth?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm a little irritated. I understand. I get it.
I kind of knew it was coming.
Yeah, I kind of figured, but the way she went was not suitable for Beth.
She deserved a lot better.
Yeah,
her character did.
Her character did. Yeah, I mean, come on, she would have. We discussed this last show because I think we were talking about her stabbing her in the chest, with a bulletproof vest on. Yeah.
There was one more thing. Oh yeah. So actually, the best part of the 2 hours that I spent watching Agent Carter was seeing the Ant-Man preview.
Oh yeah.
With Michael Douglas, who just...
You know what's awesome?
I'm sorry, Michael Douglas. I love Michael Douglas, but he is not aging well.
No.
His head is shrinking, and the beard is not hiding it.
I just watched the movie The Equalizer. Have you seen that movie yet?
I heard it was good.
It's a really good movie, man. It's one of my favorite Denzel.
And it is based off of the TV series, right?
That's what's great. Yeah,
which is horrid.
But what's hilarious, I didn't really know that going into it because a buddy of mine rented it and he just turned it on and I happened to watch it after it said what it was, so I didn't even know that it was called The Equalizer until the end, and I'm just I was watching the whole movie, I'm like, I know this story somewhere, this feels familiar. Mm-hmm. And my friend's like, oh, it's The Equalizer. I'm like, you mean the fucking cheesy ass TV show? No, it was really good, man. Denzel Washington is The Equalizer.
Was it really like the TV show?
It's based off the TV show.
Yeah, same story. Denzel.
Tell me about it.
Denzel
it's still good. It's still good.
He's hit or miss for me, but when he hits, it's out of the park.
Yeah, right. Same with me.
That's
same with me. I'm like that too.
Training day is just my jaw was just flopping.
I would
the whole
say
time.
This is his older version of Training Day. I mean, I don't think it's quite that epic, honestly. Yeah, Equalizer's not quite as epic as Training Day. Training Day was fucking awesome, dude.
It wasn't necessarily how epic it was. I mean, that movie did smack you in the face a couple times.
Yeah.
It roughed you up some.
Epic for him.
But, the way that he pulled you into it and made you, the casual viewer, want to go along with him until you realize what path he's down. And you're like, I was going to that guy I thought he was so cool.
Ain't got shit on me.
It's your boy. Getting loud with Ethan Hawke. Hey, thank you for listening, liking, and sharing Unregimented on Facebook, following us on Twitter at UnregimentedPod. You can subscribe to Unregimented on iTunes for free by clicking through the iTunes banner on ChristopherMedia.net. Android users can find Unregimented on Stitcher Radio. You can now listen to a new episode of Christopher Media Show every day of the week. Sunday, M&M Question Everything. Monday and Thursdays, we have Unregimented. Tuesday, you get the Weedsman Podcast Nugget. You also get the Toddzilla X-Pod whenever he gets around to it, and you'll like it. That's how it goes. Wednesday, we have the Projection Booth. We also have the Oddcast with Jenna and John. Fridays, you get the full episode of the Weedsman Podcast. Saturday, we have the Captain's Table. If you like what we do and you would like to show your support for us, you can donate to Christopher Media by using the PayPal button on ChristopherMedia.net. Please click through the Amazon banner and bookmark the page. It won't cost you anything extra, and when you buy something, it will help show your support for Christopher Media. If you're looking to launch your own website, please click through the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net. That's who we use to host all of the Christopher Media shows. When you sign up for HostGator by clicking through our link, you are helping to support ChristopherMedia.net. DraftKings.com, daily fantasy sports leagues, no season-long commitments. Yes, even while the NFL playoffs are happening, you can still do fantasy football at DraftKings.com. You can enter free or paid contests and win your share of over $200 million in prizes. When you click through the DraftKings banner at ChristopherMedia.net, you will get a free first-time deposit bonus when you sign up for DraftKings.com.
So anyways, let's talk about something that Chris wants to talk about. Because it's been a good...
How about napping?
I like naps.
You know what? They piss me off, man.
Yeah?
Naps piss me off.
Naps are... It's a very fragile thing. It can go so wrong for me.
Oh, yeah.
What, it's going to either ruin your day or you're just going to sleep forever?
I can't do the 20-minute anymore.
Let me bring this up first before we get into this, because the reason I brought this up is I read a story...
Hey, how much napping did we do over the holidays, by the way?
Dude.
Yeah.
That doesn't even count as napping.
That's vacation, man.
Like, it was like someone could mistake us for it would appear...
I needed to catch up.
It would appear that we just hid in our rooms over the holidays, but it was like...
It was like a bear den in the middle of winter in this place.
That's
it
great.
Was like,
well, yeah.
I'm in my bed. I got a TV. I don't have any responsibilities. My pipe's right there.
Lately, getting out of bed for work on Monday morning was just, the bed had never felt so comfortable.
Yeah.
It was like I was back in the womb.
Monday morning was
ready to come out.
Bullshit.
I had a week off for being sick, so I could not wait to get my ass back to work, and then I worked Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of New Year's. Yeah, it sucked. It sucked taking New Year's Day off. I got called in New Year's Eve. I was like, woohoo, overtime, you know?
Right. I have to work 5 whole days in a row this week.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't done that in a long time.
Need me to pack you a warm bottle?
No. No, but it was like last year. I said this at work the other day. Last year, I had 2 weeks off for the first time in forever. This year, I took 3 weeks.
That's nuts, dude. I
wouldn't
do it.
But last year, by midway through the second
Dull
week,
your edge.
I was ready.
Totally.
I was ready to go back to work. I was like, wow, I've never had this much downtime. No, I'm ready to go back to work. This year?
No, the third week does it.
No, but this year, Sunday night, I'm like, I know I just had 3 weeks off, but I could totally do 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 4 turns into 6 months.
2 weeks is good. On the beginning of the third week, you're like, how long can I pull this off for?
Yeah, right. That's why you don't do
close
the third
is
week.
Dying soon, maybe.
That's why you don't.
I think I feel something coming on.
But Corolla
I got
talked
an eye
about
problem. I just can't see coming into work.
His podcast today.
HIV flare up. I got another week.
But Adam Carolla talked on his podcast today, which which made me feel like less of a piece of shit about it, is if you have they brought up the point is if you have like a kill date on your laziness, it makes you, I guess it's a way to rationalize it. If you know that, as of this date, it's back to being all business.
I don't know. I have no problem rationalizing that shit.
But I mean,
rationalizing getting up for work every morning.
Well, that's kind of how I did nothing for 3 weeks. I feel bad because I went and visited my parents. I got 2 nephews I rarely see. Like, let's say I didn't do shit for 3 weeks.
You need to find
Good
yourself.
for fucking you.
Yeah, but
You need some me time.
Yeah, no.
But I guess it's because now, we're back to, and the fucking the 18th, I'm back to being a half-time resident of the state of Michigan again. So I mean, I guess I feel like less of a piece of shit about it is if you run like a train all the time, and then you run into this, and then you're like, I'm going to do nothing,
right,
and be non-productive.
Dude, I would love to do nothing. Like I was sick when I did nothing. That was what it took for me to do nothing.
There were days where I didn't see pants until dark. Just saying.
Yeah.
Shut up, man. Just rub that shit in.
And I'm a firm believer of your day does not begin until you put on pants.
Right. There was definitely a day where I was laying there going, I am not getting on my feet until that sun goes down. I was waiting it out. Fuck you. Go away.
I would love to have some days like that. I would love to. Just
they are far and few between.
Sleep all day, be up all night again. I miss those days, man.
Wasn't even up all night, man. I was going to bed at reasonable hours and still sleeping into like noon.
That's what happens to me is I flip that switch of like, okay, now my whole day reverses because when I play, it's at night. I don't play during the day. I want to sleep.
Well, so I read this story on BBC on their website about napping. And
is this that thing you sent me?
No, that's something else.
Okay.
So the first thing it gets into is how Western culture is just not a napping culture per se. It's especially over here. It's looked down on in the U.S. There are companies out there that make naps available, napping areas available, but they tend to be like, your tech companies in Silicon Valley. I don't think anybody at GM's taking a nap in the middle of the day.
Well,
maybe not in an authorized napping room.
No, it's called an office. Build a box city.
I'd say,
but there's definitely
dudes in the plants. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Build a box city in the plant and go sleep in there.
They show that there are studies that show that it can be beneficial. I mean, just the way that sleep is basically, it's a filing system. You're taking all the memories that you have from that day and everything that happened to you, kind of resetting and putting everything in its right place. And
so you have no time for naps in this song.
Right.
Because you have to rock all night and then you have to party every day. Yeah. There's no nap at any point.
So they tested people on memorization of two words that had no association linked together, and had like one group take a short nap, one group take a long nap, and another group just kind of take a break but not sleep, just relax. And they definitely found an improvement in the people who took short naps for their basically problem-solving part of their brain.
I thought you said birds. Now we're talking about people. I swear you said birds. I swear I heard you say birds. This test was on birds.
No. This is on people.
No,
this is on college students.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you reading on that MacBook?
And
I was going to play Freebird, but
you know what?
Thing I noticed you said people.
That would have had no context. That would have been awesome.
The thing that really threw me, though, is that they compared napping as a restorative, like, getting through the rest of your day, a little energy boost, versus another cup of coffee. And they saw improvements in the people who napped, 20 to 40 minutes halfway through their day. 2 to 4 is like the peak period to nap for most people.
It's when we talk about it the most at work.
Yeah.
Hey, what would be good right now?
Right.
A nap.
The people who drank coffee experienced no benefit, certainly, and their cognition basically declined versus those people who napped through midway through the day. So they basically came up with...
Dude, I would be such a hero if I come into the office and listen, we would be much more alert and get more shit done if we took a nap.
People would start rallying
2 and 4r every day.
Yeah.
Listen, it's all in
They're banging on their desks.
It's all in the data, all right? This coffee that you provide us does nothing. What we need is a nap.
It'd be cheaper.
So there's 2 states to sleep. There's 2 basic states of sleep. There's a slow wave state where your brain waves literally slow down. And then there's the rapid eye movement, or REM sleep. That usually happens within an hour to an hour and a half. You start going to REM sleep, and that's usually where you start dreaming as well. I remember none of the shit that happens during that period, but apparently, I don't even know if I have REM sleep.
I
think the only time I get any REM sleep is when I sleep somewhere weird, like on the couch or floor or something. But so the short nap.
I knew it was coming. I fucking knew it was coming.
But he had it stored.
That's
too.
why he was like rapid eye movement.
Right.
You weren't gonna say around. You just.
I know what that means, bitch. I know what that acronym is.
I was trying to sneak it in, you know. I went trying to go backdoor route into that one, but he had it chambered. So you're less than an hour nap.
Are you saying he had his backdoor chambered?
No, that
makes this comment sound even way more gayer than I would say. That's a good partner right there.
Yeah. You got to know your partner. All right. So under an hour, you're in the restorative area of the nap. You know, refresh, kind of reset, energize yourself, get through the rest of the day. Over an hour, when you get into the REM sleep, that tends to make you a little bit foggier, but they still show benefits on the creative side of your brain. And also, it's better if you're going to do a nap like that, you do it early. So that's my favorite nap. And this is my favorite nap.
I nap at lunchtime.
When I have nothing to do for the day, and because I still tend to wake up early, you know.
Yeah.
So I'll still get up around 8, maybe 8:30, and then I'll take a nap from like 11 to 12.
Stop talking about napping. I'm yawning the whole time.
You're going to knock your ass out.
I'm just like...
So I'll take a nap usually like from 11 to 12. That is the best nap in the world.
I'd love that.
And that's a good creative nap. Actually, if you get a little bit over an hour, that's a good creative nap because you're keeping yourself kind of in that REM sleep. That is another area where I'm more likely to remember dreams that I have. So that's actually why I like doing that, because I will actually remember what happens in my REM sleep versus during the night. For some reason, I don't remember any of this shit. So yeah, you want to write a song, you can get that novel that everyone has out of you. Try the creative early nap or the stoner's nap.
Yeah, like a lot of times it's because I smoked a bowl and didn't get out of bed and fell back asleep.
You wake and bake and you're like,
fuck it,
and nap.
I'm more of a go till I fall down and pass out.
But the if I have shit that I need to do, it
depends on the day. I mean, this obviously isn't something like for days where you have shit to do.
Right.
No. I don't know if you've witnessed it, but I know you've seen how you got to kind of like jumpstart me. The days where I work, come home and nap, and then try and do a podcast, and like the first 20 minutes are just me trying to like reset. Like, because late in the evening naps in the hour range will make me so fucking bitchy. I just like I just turn totally shitty.
Yeah.
You want to know what you want to know what I really think? Ask me during that time. Catch me after an hour nap when I'm waking up at like 8 p.m.
Bring a box of Tampax. Yeah. I'll ask you if you're napping next time before I come over. Did you nap first? I'll bring some Tampax for you.
That's when shit gets real.
So yeah, I guess napping can be a friend, but it's a harsh mistress. It can backfire on you.
Yeah. 20. I used to be able to do 20 minutes, man. I come home from work.
20 minutes is a good one.
Yeah.
20 minutes will work.
Come home from work, doing physical labor, go take a shower, come downstairs, sit on the chair, and just crash for 20 minutes. And then, boom, I'm ready to go the rest of the night.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that anymore. Now it's like, I'll take a nap, and it's like an hour's gone away, and I'm bitchy. Like, it's just... Yeah.
I think that's another thing that makes me so pissy is like I'm not getting anything done with this day anymore.
Right.
Like I've fucked this day to hell.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And there's still 4 more hours.
Like,
Jesus Christ.
No, well, then that's the other problem is I stay up even later.
Yeah, right.
Like I get an hour sleep.
It doesn't add to the bank. It's just you're like, I'll just move it over. This means I can watch another episode of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's exactly. Yep. I'm up till 2 a.m. It's like, shit. Usually I go to bed at midnight.
Yeah.
It's like, go to sleep at midnight. Shut that fucking TV off. No napping.
Well, what else we got? We can go political, or we can talk about. We can watch some of that video that I sent you.
The thing you sent me.
It's called. This is another thing that I got from BBC.
I can't keep up on politics right now.
Everybody Spies or Nobody Spies is the name of it.
In the meantime,
yes,
the terrorist attack today in Paris. You hear about that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, unarmed police officers on bicycles, 3 of them.
I heard there was
what happened?
2.
Inform me. I saw something on my news alerts.
Okay, so there's this French satirical newspaper, and they're known for blatantly producing cartoons that depict Muhammad. Mm-hmm. And knowing full well that it's like angering a lot of people. Whether that's right or wrong, that's a whole different topic. This is just a tragedy. An organized group of terrorists burst in with machine guns, specifically asked for the editor and 2 cartoonists that were responsible for most of these cartoonists, and executed them, along with like a dozen other people, I think, in total. Yeah. I mean, it was horrific. It was like Heat. It was like watching Heat.
Yeah, they were wearing body armor and shit.
Right, walking down the street. They I guess they wrecked the first car and had to take another one. They carjacked somebody for their.
Is anyone taking responsibility?
I didn't catch that.
Any groups?
I didn't catch that.
Well, I mean, we fucking
you can look it up.
Have a computer program.
You got
Yeah.
You had the question.
Does it matter?
I'm going to look at the answer.
That's a valid question, and it kind of struck me for a second because I don't know. I didn't care. It does not matter who's responsible for this.
No.
This is psychopaths. These are maniacs that executed innocent people. That's what the story is about.
But the cops didn't have fucking guns because they can choose not to carry guns. They can come on, man. Like, I'm sorry, you're freaking France, for crying out loud. People are gonna pull shit like that.
Yes, you should at least arm your police force.
Jeez, have a freaking 22 or something, so a pea shooter, a BB gun. Shit.
Well, do you think that's going to change?
No.
Mm-mm. That would be giving in.
Yeah, they won't change that. No, it's the police officer's choice.
Yeah.
And what
Al Qaeda, they're tied to.
Yeah.
Of course, they're all tied to fucking Al Qaeda.
Yeah. Plus, every terrorist is using the word Al Qaeda just to get attention.
Right.
Well,
they're all have
that, and what's ISIS's new name now? I don't know.
Well, one of the gentlemen involved in the attack today was sentenced in 2008 by France to 3 years in prison for sending about a dozen young Frenchmen to join the leader of Al Qaeda in Iraq after funneling them through a radical religious establishment.
So 3 years for that?
Well, I mean, they've been convicted with ties to Al Qaeda.
Again, like, to me,
only 3 years.
None of this shit matters.
No.
None of this matters zero to me because you're dealing with disturbed people. I'm not talking about any race or religion or anything like that. I'm just talking about person. Specifically this group of people who planned this attack. These are sick individuals.
Yep.
And so looking at what caused it, a series of cartoons, there's no response to that. What are you going to do? You're going to track down other people involved in this organization and kill them in retaliation, and that's going to solve something? I mean, I'm not saying don't track down terrorists, don't protect yourselves, but this is the only thing that's going to change is a cultural shift.
Yeah.
And we're just not there yet.
No. Well, you're talking, these people are still 12th century freaking mindset,
Yeah.
Or whatever, whenever the hell Muhammad came in there.
Well, I mean, nobody in this world is exactly doing a good
mirror.
Nobody is exactly doing a good job of not creating this us versus them mentality.
No, I know.
We're all adding to it.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So, it's fucked up, though. What are you going to do? I mean...
Did they get the guys? Because they didn't have them last time I read. They hadn't captured them.
One
of them? The youngest turned himself in.
That's not a martyr. Wow. That's kind of...
That's maybe up. Somebody who witnessed something go down and went, holy fuck, I really didn't have any idea what I was getting into. I'm way in over my head.
Yeah. Well, you just ruined yourself.
Yeah.
Over a freaking deity. Come on, man.
Over a cartoon.
Yeah.
Not even.
Right.
Like, aren't
Yeah,
you
over a maybe.
Aren't your beliefs strong enough? Doesn't the rest of your culture provide enough pillars for you to rely on?
No.
That you don't have to worry about what somebody in another country portrays about your God. It just doesn't matter. It's not on your radar because it shouldn't be.
No, man. They're at war. They're at jihad, man. Like, seriously. They're in jihad. That's what it is. And, they feel like that's, hey, man, you just, like, dissed my God. And they're, like, totally crazy. They're crazy about it. It's like, you don't go killing people for shit like that. It's fucking stupid. But the world we live in.
Here we go. But I mean, I just want to know why, as a country, we're not having like this kind of attitude.
Yeah, I'm ready to blow. Well, I'm a mushroom cloud laying motherfucker. Yeah. Every time my fingers touch brain, I'm super fly.
But I mean, just
no, really. Well,
what does that solve?
It starts eliminating parts of the problem.
It's what it solves. Chunks. It says, you know what? Don't fuck with us.
Yeah, and it also sends them. But more than it. That is the more important part. Is it says stop, don't listen. I'm a mushroom cloud laying motherfucker. That's what that says. At some point, there's nothing wrong with asserting yourself. I'm not saying go around and kick sand in kids' faces, but I'm saying when somebody punches you in the face, punch them back.
Yes, but this isn't World War II where we beat a country into submission. We kill enough of your neighbors and finally go, I don't want to go out like him. I give up. We're not dealing with that.
That's the thing is we're not dealing with it like that.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, I don't think there's surplus bombs.
I don't think there's any number.
Fuck it.
I don't think there's any number of terrorists that you can kill to reduce the number of terrorists.
No, I agree. Right.
This is a problem that you get 2 terrorists for every one that you kill.
The thing
I'm not saying go after countries, go after women and children and citizens. I'm saying go after organizations.
No, but what I'm saying is it's like that, or we have to submit to their will. And that's what they want, is they want everything. They want freaking Sharia law, man. Yeah. And like they will not rest until everything's under Sharia law.
Submitting to their will, like in this case, if they actually said, we are going to cease doing depictions of Muhammad in our comics because we are afraid of the threats from terrorists.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
Well, let's call them what they are, radical Muslims at that point, because they're killing people for, that's the group that they're in. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, I know as a person, yes, that's a psychotic thing to do. It's a total fucked up psychotic thing to do. But, it's like, I don't say go after them because of that's the other thing. You kill a bunch of Muslims, well, a bunch of Muslims are going to kill a bunch of non-Muslims,
And what do you bomb? Like, seriously, what would you
No, I'm saying you after organizations. I'm not saying lay an actual mushroom cloud. I'm saying
organizations?
Al-Qaeda.
Where?
Everywhere.
Well, I mean, you start in the nerve center. You start where you know where the greatest concentration is.
Right. They're either going to be
somewhere. Go to the hornet's nest.
No, they're either going to be somewhere you don't know the fuck where they are, or they're going to be in populated areas where you're going to take out many innocents. You're going to kill more civilians than you are going to be terrorists.
I'm saying if we can find Saddam Hussein in a hole, we can take out members of Al-Qaeda without taking out civilians, or at least minimum civilian casualties.
Well, yeah, but to do that is our soldiers' casualties and maimings. That's what that.
And with enough police force and the help of the
at
FBI,
this point they signed up for it.
We could eliminate serial killers. We could eliminate murder from the U.S. if we really put our minds to it.
Yeah. You can't stop.
You
can't stop the terror.
You can't stop terrorism. You can't stop murder.
Stop the jihad.
You can't stop the jihad. Disease. You can't. These are things that you cannot control. Right. These are things that are built.
I guess we're back to sending a message. Which action's going to take out?
I'm not saying I have an answer.
Which action's going to take out the least civilian casualties? The one we do, or the one that they perpetrate on us?
I know that I'm refuting your viewpoint, but I don't really have an opposing point on that either.
Right, that's the problem. It's like we're either proposing like mass genocide, or which is like technically like a jihad or a holy war at that point, because we are considered a Christian nation, so in a lot of people's eyes. So
I mean, for myself,
maybe not even an extended conflict. Just one thing that says, "Hey, don't fuck with us."
Well,
or stop fucking with us.
We did it at Iraq, man. That shock and awe was pretty freaking amazing. So
wasn't that shock and awe? I mean, they're fucking.
You weren't there. You watched it on CNN, dude. I mean, think about it that way. If you had that shit going on around your fucking house, that's shock and awe.
But I mean, we're 4 years later, we're back. So I mean, it was that much shock.
Oh,
and awe.
we're not only are we back, we just basically handed over the extremists a country is what we did there because that's what we did.
Shock and awe is Japan.
That's shock and fucking awe, but we'll never do that again.
Hey, knock it off and then start making us cars and electronics.
Yeah,
okay,
and you don't
that's shock and awe.
You don't get a military for 50 years.
Yeah,
we are your military now.
Like it wasn't like we're dropping this and we'll be back in a couple years. No, we sent a message, have a nice day, but then they paid us back in the 80s and stole all our manufacturing. So,
let that shit happen. No, Aaron, I don't have an answer for you.
Sure.
And I just like to answer it like a fucking...
No, this is going to be the one. We're going to solve this terrorism issue on this episode. Well, nobody's leaving this room.
But I think we covered something.
Honestly, man, like I think that, and I know this is crazy, but if you're found guilty of being a member of such organization, it's execution on site. That's it.
But I think we also covered
Guantanamo, clear it out. Clear the fucking thing out.
But I think
those people aren't in Guantanamo because they're innocent.
But I think we really kind of covered this with Todd way back, like in September, whatever. But I mean, I think we all came to the consensus like there is no answer. Any answer anybody comes up with ends with lives lost.
This is
whether it's leave them alone and let them take each other out, whether it's send a message, whether it's do nothing and let them hit each scenario ends with lives lost.
Yeah. Well, the thing is the war on terrorism, as we call it, is a war on all of us, on everybody, because now it's like gotten so, Edward Snowden, blah, 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 blah. You know, I'm not even going to go into that because it's been said too many times. So it's a war on terrorism like the war on drugs. That's really what it is. I mean, you cannot stop either one. There's no fucking possible way you can stop them in the way that they're trying to stop it.
Yeah, and there's barely a country that hasn't suffered.
The war on drugs is a relatively easy war to win per se. We could have, less drug use if we legalized it, taxed it, and freaking regulated it, and then used the profits to go towards rehab facilities. Mm-hmm.
You could control. I don't think it's even so much about controlling drug use. It's about controlling the negative effects of drug use.
Well, that's what I'm saying is,
helping the people out who get themselves in situations they don't know how to get out of by themselves.
Right. No, I agree. But like, how do you associate that? Because it's the same kind of war per se, is war on terrorism kind of a thing. It's
right. So what's the analog in fighting terrorism? Like we're fighting terrorism like we fought the war on drugs. All we saw during the whole war on drugs was a steady increase in drug use.
Right.
And the only thing that we're seeing in our war on terrorism is an increase in terrorism.
Yeah.
Right. So what's analogous to legalizing drugs and offering treatment? Like not. I mean, basically, it's saying it's all in relations, public relations. Like, we're not going to fight you. We're not going to send troops into your country. We're not doing this. We're not having this battle. This is ridiculous. We're better than this. And here's why and how. And look at all this shit you could have. I know it's a ridiculous idea, and you would never get any country on it when they've all suffered losses. Almost every civilized country now has suffered some sort of civilian casualty due to terrorism.
I think the best solution to all of it would be not solution to all of it. Actually, that's a swiping. Freaking
told you we were going to do it this episode. I'll keep going. You're on a roll.
Yeah. And this is very controversial, and I don't really believe that it's the right thing to do, but I think it's a decent idea. Plenty of holes, but militarize your borders. Like pull all our troops back and militarize the fucking border. It's really hard to get in here unless you're an American citizen, and it's really easy to get the fuck out. Really easy to get out. Really hard to get in.
Yeah.
That would be, I mean, you just make it freaking hard as hell to get in here. And then when you do get in here, you go through so much fucking security, you don't want to ever leave it. You know, you don't ever want to come back. And I mean, like, if you had other countries that got involved in that and had some kind of like, where you can make it easier passage if you have like some kind of security check, blah, blah, blah thing. Yeah. But I'm talking militarized, not TSA. I'm talking like fucking military. But I think
you got to do a whole immigration reform if you're going to do that as well, or else your company's going to rot. Or your company, your country.
Well, what's the difference?
Same thing, yeah. Your country's going to rot in a couple generations. But so your first response from most reasonable people is, where's all this money going to come from? Well, it comes from defense. Right. Well, you can't take away from defense. I mean,
but you are defending, though.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. Yeah. Is you're militarizing.
To me, that's a logical
borders.
move. Is to say, let's shelve these orders for all these tanks and all these jet planes, and let's
control the in
have
and
your
out.
drones, and let's exactly
control your in and out.
So
I mean, come on, that's less costly than like taking all this shit overseas or taking it. Stop taking the fight to them.
Right.
You can't see if you can afford to get over here. You know how hard it is to fucking get in here? That's how you make it. You know how hard it is to get in here. If you're not a fucking American citizen, it's hard as hell. And yeah, then you're going to get your sleeper cells that are in America. But the thing is now you got a controlled environment. I mean, I'm not talking militarize the whole country, just in and out, border passages. You know, you could fill the frickin' borders with military. There goes your border protection would be helped out tremendously right there. Those guys have a rough ass job, man. You know, it's fuck having everybody overseas.
Okay, so.
You know, maybe do it to some of our allied countries. If we have enough troops, we can go to our allied country and help them militarize their border as well.
What about
create a castle?
Okay, but you do. I think the backlash from that would be civilians feeling like they are living in a police state, right?
Well, I see what you're saying, but the thing is like, what would be the police state? The borders. The borders are a police state.
Yeah.
You know, not the rest of the country.
Sure.
Like, dude, if you're, if you live in a town that's like on a border, and you got military there, so.
Well, what I'm saying is there's a big difference to the average person. Not everybody follows politics or policy or knows that much about what's going on about when it comes to immigration. And
immigration is something totally different than what I'm talking about, though.
No, I know. But the point I'm making is that person at the airport seeing, heightened security. I don't know. I guess maybe it's just my imagination, but I'm picturing machine guns. I figured they would need machine guns. They would need machine guns for this job.
I'm talking militarize the fucking border. You got tanks, you got planes strafing, you got drones up there. You know what I mean? You create you create a militarized fence around the entire country with your troops. We have enough troops to do it. They're all over the country, all over the world.
Right.
I mean, and not only that, you could build an infrastructure for that would be like solar and wind power, and you could make the speed trains that they want to do, that they've been talking about to go across the country. You could do it. You could do it with
California's
defense money.
Getting a bullet train.
You could do it with defense money. California to New York. You know what I mean? Like,
that sounded vaguely sexual the way you said it.
Yeah,
California's getting a bullet train.
Now, it does sound like a militarized, but it's not a militarized country.
I understand. Yeah. But perception is reality, especially for those who don't follow the news, and that's what you see is military at the airport.
I see.
And why do I gotta be harassed?
The airport. The airport is
no.
I pay my taxes.
But what I'm talking about
is
like
me there.
Nothing they're doing there is preventing anything.
If we're flying to New York or we're flying to wherever internally, see, you could reduce that security right there. It would be like the international flights. You would have specific gates with international flights, and you would have
where it should be.
Right.
That's where it should be, like getting fucking the white glove shoved up your ass.
Right.
I was hearing, what was it? Jim Jeffries the other day was talking about when you travel domestically in another country. He's from Australia. He says he flies in Australia. He pulls out his ID. They're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
They're like, we want to see your boarding pass. We just want to see what gate you got to go to.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm talking about is like, anything international like that. That's what you...
The gate agent even said, like, what's your ID going to do? What's having your... Sorry, had a lot of coffee today. Said, what's having your ID going to do? Make you any less of a terrorist?
Yeah, right.
You're a terrorist with an ID.
Yeah, right.
You know, same thing with he says he starts taking his shoes off, and they're like, "Come the fuck on, buddy! Like, how many bombs you got on you?"
Yeah,
like,
right.
Right. No. We're over here. They're like up the one leg, move over, down the other.
No,
that's what they should do. I think that's how the TSA could make some more money, because they're already like feeling you up and down anyways. If they just did it with one of those fabric rulers, measuring tapes, took your measurements real quick, and then they could offer a tailoring service. You can download your measurements and pick your suit color.
My last flight home of the year this year, fucking from America's
Arms out, please.
From America's armpit of New Jersey, which I really thought this was an exaggeration, but their state motto really probably is "fuck you." But anyway, Newark Airport. Nothing I have never done before at any other airport. I got my backpack, I got my rolling carry-on, and I got the podcast bag slung over my shoulder. And I'm just trying to go to get into security, and the guy's like, whoa, where are you going? I'm like, to security. He's like, you can't bring all that on with you. You got to check one of those. I'm like, what are you talking about? I do this all the time. Like, what's in that bag? I'm like, microphones. He's like, you can't come through. And I start to try to power through him. He jumps in front of me.
That was going over.
Yeah. And then, I immediately think of like, no, don't do that.
No.
Yeah,
like,
stop. How people get tased.
Yeah. He's like, you can't go through. I'm like, why?
This is not how I want to get famous.
He's like, you have too many bags. I was like, what? So if I said this was my purse, I said, I see women do this all the time. They got a backpack and they got their...
Sir, what's in that bag? My tampons.
Yeah.
Go on.
So
just get on the fucking plane.
So he made me shove it into my backpack. So I called him. I said, thanks a lot, hero, as I walked by. Then they proceeded to search everything I had with me.
Yep. Yeah, of course. They tore your shit apart.
But
what does this change? Like, you've not changed the weight or volume of anything that you're bringing onto the plane.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the amount, the numerical value of them, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, okay, so now the bomb is in my backpack and not slung over my shoulder.
You know what you do then? You buy the biggest piece of luggage you can at the luggage store at the airport. You shove all 3 bags into it, and you're like, what now, motherfucker? Hey, I'm going shopping again. I'm going to go get a purse, fill it with some tampons. I still got enough room for another carry-on.
But nothing they're doing there...
Well, that's not a TSA
I got through
problem.
with the joint in my pocket. I didn't even know I had half a joint in my coat pocket.
Oh, my God.
And I was flying to Philadelphia in, like, November. And I'm just sitting there. Well, I've told the story.
On that Paco Loco.
Yeah. We told this on another podcast, so I'll tell you a brief story of it real quick. And I'm just standing there, like, waiting for my plane or whatever. And I'm like... like, man, like, I smoked like an hour ago. That must have been some good shit. And then then I'm thinking, maybe that's not me, And then it's just super strong. And then I'm like, what the fuck? At this point, now the plane's like 5 minutes from boarding. Like, they started, they've let people with babies and wheelchairs start getting on. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, where is this coming from? And then it dawns on me, the night before I went to the dispensary, I picked up a PR. And I smoked half of it, and I don't smoke. I don't have cigarette packs anymore.
Oh, right.
So when it was half out, I'm like, because it was like good shit. I was like, I'm not smoking all of this.
You put it in the watch pocket?
No,
you
I just
jeans. You probably don't even have one.
No, I just
the little one.
He put it in his jacket.
Yeah, I put it out and just shoved it in my pocket. Not thinking nothing of it, and then I left the next morning for my flight, and then
you got surged to the TSA.
No, I didn't. I got through with it. That's what my whole point is. What the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
I had a half a joint in my pocket.
That stunk.
Yeah.
That fucking stunk to high hell because you were smelling it.
Well, now I know. Just, hey, if I really just shove a joint in my jacket pocket and crumple it up and fucking put it on the conveyor belt, they didn't even catch that.
No.
That reminds me of...
Meanwhile, they're searching my fucking suitcase because my shaving cream looks like it might be over 4 ounces.
Yeah.
And every time they pull it out, oh, nope, it's the right amount. It just looks big. I know, jackass, because I bought it at the travel sites. It's because I fucking travel for a living.
And you're like, that's what she said.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's like every time. It's at this point, every time...
It took me a second.
At this point, every time,
fuck you.
At this point, every time they flag anything I have, I got lippy with the guy just because he's like, you can't go through. And I'm like, yes, I can. I do it at every other airport, but this one, it's always it's funny too. I'm noticing a trend, mini tangent here, and I'll get right back on. I always think my last flight of the year, fucked up shit happens. That was literally my final, that was my final leg home.
Oh, maybe they got a quota like cops.
Yeah, I don't know. But
like, I gotta fuck with 12 more people before this year's up.
But they're not fucking doing what is all that caught? A shoe bomber? Like
not even
5 Christmases ago?
They didn't catch an underwear bomber either in Detroit.
Oh no, that's right. Don't we have to take our shoes off because of the shoe bomber?
Should we have to take our underwear off? Couldn't we leave our shoes on until that got through?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying though, like, man, you fucking militarize like the international shit, right? And you got dogs and fucking throw some fucking technology at the shit, whatever.
Okay. But
international.
Isn't that how the terrorists win?
No. No. It's how we win.
They make you modify your behavior.
We already have. But they already have done
that.
Yeah.
So
they collapsed our banking system for Christ's sake, pretty much.
Hey guys, thanks for listening, thanks for clicking, thanks for liking, thanks for sharing, thanks for subscribing for free by clicking through the iTunes banner on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for telling a friend. I probably already said that, but that's how important it is because that's how podcasts work. We drop every Monday and Thursday. Check out all of the other shows on ChristopherMedia.net. So stay tuned, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time.
If you enjoy this show and want more people to know about it, head on over to iTunes, leave a comment, and rate it 5 stars. Make sure you like and share us on Facebook, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Just search for Christopher Media. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Most importantly, we would like to take the time to extend an extra special thanks to you. Christopher Media could not exist without your support. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net, and thank you for listening. Christopher Media. Let's make some noise.
The sweet aromas of the apple fritter, cinnamon roll, and blueberry muffin are hard to resist. So making it home without reaching in your McDonald's bag is no easy task.